Well, greetings from Madagascar and Happy New Year. In this video, we want to give you a quick update about what we've been up to over the last year since our return to Madagascar. But first, we want to express our gratefulness and our gratitude to you all for your faithful support, both financial support, which makes us being able to live here, but also in your prayer support and upholding us before the Lord as we endeavor to do the work of the ministry here. We returned to Madagascar in December of 2018 and spent about 2 months here before we made our move to the island of Sainte Marie. Now, we got to Sainte Marie in mid-February, and we had a number of challenges over our 8-month stay there. And our goal in getting to Sainte Marie was to start a church, and so it took us a couple months. And we had challenges in finding adequate housing. There's electric and water issues at the house that we were living at. On top of that, we had the frame of our van was breaking, and so we were making numerous repairs on that, although it couldn't be adequately repaired on the island. And so that was a stress because we were driving, and there was always a noise on that. And then when the weather was inclement, the boats wouldn't come to the island, so that wouldn't bring any supplies to the island. And so there was food shortages at times, nothing critical or dire like a famine, but it just made things a little tricky sometimes. And then the island was a lot more expensive than what we really had anticipated when we had taken our survey trip prior to coming back on furlough. And so a number of these challenges, and then there was also, the spiritual attacks that we experienced being in a new place and trying to do the work of starting a church. We did manage to start a church in June of 2019, and it took us a couple of weeks. We had decided to do this starting on Easter, the day after Easter, and we made our plan, so it was 7 weeks till the June 9th start date. And we painted signs, we found a building, we got chairs, we made flyers. We were able to hand out 3,000 flyers during our time there on the island, and they all had gospel messages on them, and we were able to talk to people. We started building relationships. We had a lot of, got to know a lot of people. We were talking to some people and trying to do some Bible studies. Overall, there just seemed to be a real coldness towards any sort of spiritual topics. And so with all the stresses that I had mentioned, and you can read about those in our prayer letters, our past prayer letters, and we were praying and we were talking to our pastor and our director, and we just decided that it was time for us to move back to Tana. So we made the move in October of 2019, and we've been back since then for, it's been 4 months, I guess. And so now we just got into a new house in January, and we have had several opportunities that have come up to us, and one is teaching a Bible institute at a local church, training several of their people in basic Bible doctrines and Old and New Testament survey, and how to prepare sermons, how to teach Sunday school lessons, how to evangelize and disciple, things like that. And so that'll be an ongoing project throughout this year. We also are going to be using English, which is part of our NGO activities. We'll be using English to open some doors in communities that need the gospel. And so we'll be using that in conjunction with the one church that I'm currently working with. And then we're going to be working in another community, doing an evangelism outreach to try to hopefully start a Bible study, which would lead into a church. But we are excited about being back here. We're excited about what the Lord has in store for us this year, and we're grateful to have had the experiences. Although they were difficult at the time, we're grateful that the Lord has brought us through those various challenges, and we couldn't have done it without you all. And so we are grateful for your support, as I mentioned earlier, but also we covet your prayers, really desire to have you guys pray for us and remember us in your prayers as often as you can. Thanks again. Bye-bye.